那是干呀，那的弟弟爸爸。Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the world of home tech with me, your host Paul Hibbert. Welcome to the Hubitat. Hubitat? Hobbit, shut up. This thing is basically Samsung smart things, only like totally offline if you want it to be totally offline, but also if you don't want it to be totally offline, works with She That Should Not Be Named and Google Home, and if this then that, absolutely perfectly. This is the most versatile smart hub yet. Let's take a look. At its core, this is a Zigbee and Z-Wave hub, which means it can listen to these very cheap Chinese door sensors to switch on this very cheap Chinese plug socket, for example. Or it could listen to this very cheap Chinese button to switch on this Ikea bulb, which is currently burning a hole in my hand because I've just removed it from the lamp. But it doesn't end there. This is very Raspberry Pi-esque. If you've ever seen Home Assistant, this is kind of like an idiot's Home Assistant for morons like me. Basically, someone has coded up the majority of it for you, and all you've got to do is copy and paste little bits of code if you want to control random things. For example, I've controlled my Broadlink RM Pro via an Android device using a HTTP script, which was super easy to do. So first things first, let me introduce you to the app. There isn't one. So basically, there isn't one yet. It's something that Hubitat have planned for the future, but in the meantime, what you do is visit a web page via either your mobile phone's browser or your computer's browser. This web page is not served from the internet, it's actually served from the hub itself, so you don't even need to be connected to the internet to actually carry this process out. So I'm going to show you now. If I go into the devices section in the control panel, it's as simple as putting a bulb into pairing mode using the manufacturer's instructions and pressing Discover Zigbee and Z-Wave devices. It then discovers Zigbee and Z-Wave devices. Once all your devices are discovered, you can scroll through them like this, and you can see my Ikea bulb is there, for example, and if I open up the Ikea bulb, I can switch it on by pressing the on button, or off by using the off button. That's quite straightforward. That is fairly boring though, so if I want to create like a dashboard so I could have it on a tablet and stick my tablet on my fridge, so I've already added the dashboard app, and you can see it appears at the top of my menu. And in the Dashboards app, I've already created something called Jarvis, because Iron Man. In there, I've got my sensors. You can see my door sensor there, and if I open my sensor up, the app tells me that the door has been opened, which is really cool. It also switched on the Ikea bulb, because that's one of the automations I've set up. If I close the door again, you can see the Aqara door sensor is now telling me that the door is closed, and it's switched the Ikea bulb off, because that's the second thing I told the automation to do. The automations are super powerful, like ridiculous. It's kind of like if this then that, if this then that took steroids and hit the gym a whole bunch. I could make it so this plug socket only turned on if motion was detected in this room, whilst my mobile phone was connected to the router, whilst the toilet seat was down, whilst a light was on somewhere. You could make it like that stupid. That's stupid though, don't do it. So the nice and easy music room door is open command looks like this. Select trigger events. Aqua door sensor is open. It already knows how to do that. Contact becomes open. Nice and easy. And then I set it so it would do a thing. And that action was Ikea bulb switch on. So even I can manage that one. Nice and straightforward. So this whole thing is super easy and everything is brilliant, right? No. It is not very easy at all. If the devices are already workable within its own framework and you don't have to do anything clever, that's really easy. If you want to set up very basic automations, that's very easy. If you want to create a dashboard where you can just press buttons, that's easy. If you want to get Alexa or Google Home or if this then that working, that is all easy. In reality, everything is easy as long as you're happy to go out to the internet and back again for some things. Only some things. So things like, for example, my Toya smart plug sockets, you can't control those locally because they're Wi-Fi, they're not Zigbee. And nobody yet has written a decent enough driver to control these things without lots of messing around. It can be done, but it's super hard. All that said, these are the things it does work with without any issue whatsoever. Okay, now that's over, consider this. On the internet, there are lots of mental people, like actual mental people. And if you can dream it, some nerd has already done it. This is a very open platform, and a lot of it is just a simple case of copying code off the internet and pasting it into a section of your Hubitat webpage. When you paste it in, all of a sudden those things that aren't supposed to be available are in fact available. This isn't possible for everything, sadly. For example, the Broadlink RM Pro doesn't have an official driver, and it doesn't have a proper driver from the community either. There is a way of controlling it. You simply install the RM plugin on an Android device, enable the HTTP server, and then use the maker driver from the Hubitat to send the HTTP requests to this thing. Simple, right? The same is true of the Harmony Hub, unfortunately. You would need to get a Raspberry Pi set up with a whole bunch of stuff I don't understand to fire the requests from the Hubitat to the Raspberry Pi to the Harmony Hub to control your stuff, which is a bit of a shame. So the other things that are notably missing from its device list are the Nest products, so thermostats and Ring video doorbells and cameras and all that stuff, and Toya Smart Life, which is a massive shame because they're super cheap Chinese equipment and I like them. If I could control them locally, it would be beautiful. Both of those things have had like community-driven drivers created, that's a mouthful, but they don't quite fit the bill really, and especially in Nest's case because it all still has to go out to the internet and back in again, which kind of defeats the purpose. That said, if you're not bothered about that, you can use if this then that to link all of these things together and just forget I said anything. In summary, if you're looking to get everything under one roof, so you want all of your devices on one panel, this is it. If you want just one location to manage everything that will be advertised to see that should not be named, and Google Home, and if this then that, again, this is your boy. Short of soldering a Zigbee antenna and a Z-Wave antenna to a Raspberry Pi like some kind of mental Frankenstein, this is as good as it gets. If you're interested in it, the links are in the description to buy one. Go and check that out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button. Come and hang out with me at these places. And if you want to make these videos a possibility, like these amazing people who I love very, very much, come and do so at Patreon or do me a one-off payment at PayPal, and I will love you forever. I shall see you next time. Host of devices. That is it. It is available. Bye. This is and if you want to make these